Just a couple of things. I think overall a lot of things we're pleased about with camp. I think the attitude was good. Logistically, it ran really smoothly. Very few problems with guys sleeping and those types of things. So, and then we finished up Friday night with a big scrimmage out here. A lot of good individual efforts, but we certainly don't have the consistency we need right now. So as we move forward right now, I think that's certainly number one on the list, is developing some consistency. And right along with that awareness, we got to continue to keep looking at different situations, putting the guys in situations and see how they react. So that's on the list. And then the other thing is just getting our 2 deep established, some semblance of it going into our first game. Whether it's offense, defense, special teams included, we still, I think, have a lot of decisions to make and guys to look at. So basically it's been Iowa versus Iowa through today. That'll continue Thursday, Friday. And we'll do a little scout work maybe, at the end of the week here, just to get that process going. But we really won't worry about our first opponent until next week like we always do. So the biggest thing right now, I think, is just kind of focusing on the daily steps, transitioning to school, and then, again, just trying to get ready for game week here. So those are some points there. Just roster update real quickly. Manuel Agua came out, I think it was last Wednesday night or Thursday night, midweek. Said he's going to go to track, so he's doing that. And then we've released Nick Wilson from the squad, and I think he's reassessing his future right now, and just putting some thoughts to that. Just the last 2 things, I saw something on tickets early in this week or late last week, whenever it was, and certainly pleased about that. Really great to see the students sell out their allotment and encourage them to come early and stay late. It might be a little tough for those 11 o'clock games, but hopefully we can get them there early. And I think just in general, I know the fans first theme that the administration's adopted is, I think we're all looking forward to that. There's a lot of effort going into improving the atmosphere in Kinnick, inside, outside, all that type of thing. So want to commend everybody involved in that whole thing. And just one current event, I read a nice article this weekend on Drew Ott concerning his status, and it just kind of triggered somebody threw an article on my desk probably about 2 weeks ago. I thought an interesting NCAA passed a rule apparently where a guy at another school, got an extra year granted to him because they switched offensive coordinators at the school he had been at. So, you talk about gray area, which I think Drew Ott's case was totally about gray area, and I'm all for the other guy getting an extra year. But when you talk about arbitrary, or just, I don't know if it's a run-pass ratio or how many shotgun snaps versus non-shotgun snaps, but it just seems like, in retrospect, it'd been really nice for Drew to have this last year. So I'll move on, just like I told our team to move on. But, it is interesting, some of the things you read, just kind of interesting. Love to know the logic behind them all. So I'll throw it out for questions.
Is the fluidity of the depth chart at this point common, normal for where you guys are, or would you like it a little tighter?
Yes and no. The moves that are caused by injuries, that's probably common, although that rotates, and we've got more than a handful of those right now. And that adds to the consistency. But then right along with that, we're looking hard at some guys at all positions, basically. Maybe not for a starting, right tackle, but, who's going to be the next guy in at the tackle, that type of thing. And it's really pretty much all across the board, including special teams. So, I think it's common, but maybe a little bit bigger influx of first-year guys. I could see, anywhere from 6 to 10 guys maybe getting their feet in the water this year. That's as I stand here today. We'll look at the film. We just did a little bit more work with them this morning, but we'll try to start narrowing that down here by the end of the week.
How many true freshmen do you expect to play, and has Nathan Stanley moved into that position where he's making it tough for you?
Yeah, as I just said, 6 to 10 maybe. I think, could be as few as 6, could be 5. Certainly more than 4 a year ago, and then it could be as many as 10. And we'll keep an open mind. That the backup quarterback still, I think, being contested pretty strongly right now, and we'll take the next couple days to look at that too. We still have 2 more practices before we really have to flip the page and get into next week.
Nick Wilson, was that your decision?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Just not one single event, but just, cumulative thing.
Okay. Any injuries that are real concerning where guys may be out early?
Yeah, I think we're same place where we were last time I visited with you. It was John Wisniewski's got that MCL sprain, and then Jake Hewlett had a fracture that didn't require surgery, fortunately, but he's got a cast on. And I think both those guys were still 2, 3, 4 weeks away from them even practicing. So, I think they both have a long way. Everything else is kind of, may have a couple guys touch and go next week. We'll see.
Monty Jones, do you expect him to be one of those players playing? And is he more of a special teamer, backup linebacker right now?
That remains to be seen, but he's certainly in the mix. He's got a real energy to him that's good, and he has a way of getting to the football, and that's important for a defensive player. He's really demonstrated good maturity on the field. Still a lot to learn, like any first-year player, but yeah, he's certainly in the mix. But both phases, offense or special teams and defense.
You mentioned you're in kind of camp mode for a couple more days before you go into game planning. What are the things you kind of want to accomplish before you focus on the Kirk standard?
Well, yeah, we still have a couple more. We're trying to introduce different situations. Today we did, the last 4 minutes of a game, and introduce that. We haven't gone through that. We haven't done an overtime period yet. So we still have some things that you have to cover that may never happen during the course of the season, but may happen several times. And then we're just going to continue working us against us like we do in spring or early preseason. Just to really get a better gauge on how guys can compete against really good competition. And it's not, it's the way we do it every year. We just do very little on our first opponent until we get into game week. But we'll introduce a few things, but just, not even the ABCs, more the A's, maybe on Thursday or Friday.
The numbers kind of showed you guys, your defense wore down a little bit last year. Is there anything you can change up in camp now to prepare for making a change there? What can you do differently?
Anytime you can develop more depth, that's a good thing. And then certainly, offensively, if we can up our time of possession a little bit more too, that's a good thing as well. Explosive plays are okay. If we get a few of those, I'm all right with that. We hadn't seen enough of them in camp, so maybe we got a few we're saving for the season. I hope we are.
Did the Agro move surprise you? I didn't seem like there was
yes and no. Yes and no. I kind of developed told my wife one day when I went home after something happened at the University of Maine, my first head coaching job, I told her, if I ever tell you I'm surprised by anything, just hit me with a bat, because you just never know. You never know. But he was a really outstanding track runner in high school, really prolific that way, and I think he just feels like he wants to gravitate in that direction.
So Nathan Stanley's in contention for 2?
But anything's open right now. Fair to say CJ is our best quarterback. He's really been practicing well. But after that, we'll just continue to reassess. I don't think we're ready to make a decision yet. Perfect world, we'd love to redshirt him, but we'll just we'll let it play out. All three guys are competing.
Does his climb impact?
Kind of like Drew Tate in
potentially, but we'll see. And again, we'd rather redshirt him. I'd rather redshirt all the freshmen if we can, but we also need to do. We can't put our best guys out there.
Does his climb impact what you might do with Drew long term, or is Drew Cook?
No, we haven't even thought about that at this point. We're just letting everybody, push forward and see what they do.
Speaking of tight end, is there
one or two more?
Is that kind of coalesced beyond George?
No, I'd say it's wide open right now too. It just we're learning about the guys each and every day. Had a couple injuries mixed in there, but yeah, that's probably something. And some of these things may go in through September for a while. Just wait and see on that one.
Fullback, is that come together the way you thought it would?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about the group actually. All three of the guys are practicing good. The top 3 guys, and even Steve Manner's 4th guy's practicing well. So that's coming together. The punting thing was Ron Caluzzi was doing the best, and then the last couple of days Colton's really done a good job. So and if that, they just want to see that continue to progress, but that's been encouraging.
Kicker, is that
wide open right now?
Wide open.
Yep, three guys in contention, wide open. So
who's the 3rd?
Keith Duncan is in.
Okay.
He's right in the middle of it right now. So we'll see.
Is Caluzzi the starting punter right now? If you had to,
if we were playing tomorrow, yeah, he definitely would be, and his body of work's been the best. But Colton's a guy we thought was a really good prospect. In the last couple of days, we've really seen him start to look like we hoped he would. And so that's encouraging for sure.
Is Caluzzi handling kickoffs too?
Plan on that right now. Yep, we do plan on that.
Weak side linebacker, is that
wide open still? Yep. Bo's had a really good camp. I'd mentioned Bo Bauer as a guy who I think's been pretty steady and consistent. So, if we were playing tomorrow, he might be that guy. But we'll let that play out too the next couple of days.
And then on the outside after Neiman, you expect Bo? Is he
probably Bo? Yeah, probably Bo. He's the one moving around more than anybody. He and Hockett, they're kind of the switch around guys, if you will.
All right, thanks everyone.
Okay.